Hey guys, I was just going to be giving you a Seybold Locomotive Workshop update. I am the founder, owner, and operator, Seybold. Um, haven't really reported in a while, and I've been meaning to, but there's been a lot of things in the way, in the ways of personal business. But been focusing on a lot of engine rebuilds and repairs, and trying to get as many engines back in service as I can. Almost as fast as I can. Um, But it's been a journey, I'll tell you that. So many things we're working on right now. I mean, you have SCBR number 9, the 060 that we're working on for the Santa Clarita Valley Railroad. Tire restoration. Yesterday, uh, removed the old Mantua smoke box door that it had. Sorry. It had this old Mantua smoke box door. It's ugly. It didn't look right on an MDC roundhouse engine. And so I had this smoke box door off an old 260. I painted it, and that'll be the new front for it. I'll be mounting a headlight to the top of the smoke box, so it'll have an entirely different new look. So I'm doing a facelift for it. Working on another roundhouse engine number 1905. It's a 262 Prairie in the Harriman style, Southern Pacific scheme with the Vanderbilt tender. Behind me, way back in the bench over there, we're working on is resoldering the lead wire to the contact plate, and the motor is on a mount, and the motor can go back onto the frame, which sits behind the shop, which you can't even see. The main gear I was working on the gear because you had a portion of one of the gear teeth that was starting to split a little bit, so you have to kind of force those back into the right place so that you can have a circular motion, not have to stop. Working on Santa Clarita Valley Road number 14. I'm on to a big 6. Finishing up the rebuild. Its frame is over on the bench, also having its lead wire be resoldered to the motor. So those are the main things. Also finally figured out the problem on Seybold Locomotive Works number 7, which is this old Varney all-metal 040 Docksider, Little Joe as they're called. I built new steps for it. I just removed them because I was trying to work on the frame, and I didn't want to break them off, so they're getting in the way. So I just took them off. I'll glue them back on when it's all said and done. But I kept having issues when you put the locomotive on the track. It could run in reverse, but then when you go into forward, it would stop. It would slip. The motor would slip because the drive gear was too free, meaning it would drop a little bit down, and the motor would spin, and it just wouldn't touch it. And I never figured out what the issue was till today. So I noticed that the cover plate on the engine was it kind of like looped over, like a tiny bit over this driver, but it was just enough to the point where it would cause it not to spin. So I tried bending the cover plate in many different shapes and ways of form to try to be able to alternate it so that it would be able to work, but nothing on the cover plate worked. So I just decided I'd remove the cylinders and the drivers and the steps, and go take the frame to the bench grinder and make the seat, because the frame kind of angled down a little bit as it went past towards this area by the cylinders, kind of angled down. So in order for the cover plate to work properly and keep the driver flat as solid as possible, not being loose, you had to have a flat surface here. So I took the cylinders off and the boiler off and the drivers out, and took it over to the bench grinder and made a flat spot right there so that the cover plate can now go on it, and there won't be any lip, and so that the locomotive can run. And I just tested it, and it works just fine. I'll be doing a lot of cleanup on the drivers because they looked really nice when I first cleaned this engine. When I first cleaned them on this engine, way back in, I don't know if I want to say, I kind of want to say maybe February, around there. And they looked really nice. I don't know how they got so filthy just by sitting. I never even ran the engine. Same with the rods. But I'll be giving those a good cleaning and getting this locomotive out and for our steam shop build, and it'll be getting it done. So that's a good accomplishment. A couple of small things. Well, since the last update, I improved an area of the shop. I put my roundhouse 280 number 3 inside the shop. And the way I did that was, I'll have to kind of come closer for this. Sorry, I was trying to mount the tripod properly. Okay. See, right here there is this wall, and it went all the way down to the floor of the shop, and I knew there was an opening here for where like a shop office would kind of be. So I knew that, and this was my plan for a while, to cut off this wall basically and knock it down, but only about halfway, so about the length of the locomotive, how tall it would be, so that you could lay track in there, and you can Three's tender could go underneath this little office area, and it can go all the way back in here, but so you can still have number 3 inside the shop, and next to my other favorites. I'll move some stuff and I'll show you it. See right there. See number 3's in the shop. You can see where I cut the hole, you know, right around over there, and you can see 442 number 6 and 605. You can barely even see it, but that's how I did that. And I did that so I can have all 3 of my favorite steam locomotives that are associated with my Seybold Locomotive Works inside one shop. And so now that it's been achieved, it makes life a lot simpler. But I still plan on doing another shop expansion in order to get every locomotive that we own inside one shop, Seybold Locomotive Works wise. But yeah, that is the main update. There are a lot of little things I'm not touching up on, but you can follow our website, SeyboldLocomotiveWorks.weebly.com, for that. You know, if you want further updates on client engines that we're doing. I don't report a whole lot on the client engines because it's just it's a personal matter, more or less. But yeah, that would be the Seybold Locomotive Works update for the month of May, and probably have another one coming up soon after number 9 is further along, after 1905 is done, 14 is done, 7 is back together. Once those are all back together, I'll get a video of that and you can see all the progress since then. But thank you guys very much for watching this, and got any questions, let us know. Alright, this is the Seybold Locomotive Works.